Looking for these better days.
It is Wednesday, February 11th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. Well, it's the day we've all been waiting for. The men's ice hockey tournament begins at the Olympics. And yeah, there's still some NBA stuff going on. LeBron not eligible for awards. We'll talk about all that nonsense. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. Mac, I know you have just been counting down the hours until we get this men's Olympic ice hockey tournament underway.
I like grand stages. I like the World Cup. I like to think this is the biggest tournament any of these kids are going to be in their whole lives. It's fun. You don't have to be a huge NHL fan to love the pinnacle of the sport.
Now, it's best on best for the first time since 2014, when that was the last time NHL players went to the Olympics. However, is it really best on best if Russia's not in the tournament? I mean, as an American, I'm obviously like, we're going to root for Team USA. As a bettor, we have obviously lots to root for. USA and Canada was incredible to watch the four nations face off last year. But like, let's be honest here. Like, some of the best players in the NHL are Russian, and
right.
And because of the actions by their country, like we are not going to see some of the best players in the NHL play here in the Olympics. So, Mackenzie, we don't get political on this pod, okay?
Okay, right. Let's just talk about Bad Bunny and have some fun.
Let's just talk about the halftime show, right? No, so, I mean, think about it. Like, no Nikita Kucherov, no Kirill Kaprizov, no Artemi Panarin, Yevgeny Malkin, Alex Ovechkin, Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin. Like, nope. No, none of them will be in this tournament. So some of the best players in the NHL will not be playing, but a lot of the greatest players in the NHL are playing. And the tournament gets underway here today with two games: Finland against Slovakia and Italy taking on Sweden. The odds currently up on the FanDuel Sportsbook for the gold medal: Canada, a minus or plus 105 favorite. The United States plus 190 as the second favorite, and Sweden plus 550 as the third favorite. Those are the three teams that can win this gold medal, Mackenzie. With all due respect to Finland, that's next at plus 1,300. They are a step below those top three teams. By the way, those top four teams are the four teams that we saw last year in the preview to this, which was the Four Nations face-off last year.
Right.
So what's interesting is that all three teams are in different groups, right? The United States in their group is probably going to run through their group because it's the easiest route to winning their group. It's the United States, Germany, Latvia, and Denmark in Group C. Canada is in Group A with Switzerland, Czechia, and France. And Sweden is actually in the Group B with Finland, as well as Slovakia and the host nation, Italy. So the way that the medal round works is it goes by record, points, goal differential, total goals, like all that stuff is how we're going to determine this. So if the United States goes 3-0 and Canada goes 3-0, then it goes by goal differential, things like that, to see who gets 1 and 2, the seeding purposes. As long as the United States and Canada are the 1 and 2 seeds, they will be lined up to play each other in the gold medal game. But let's say Sweden goes undefeated and they have a better goal differential. Like, there's a chance that Canada and the United States could finish like 2-3 and actually have to play each other in the semifinal, which is exactly what happened in Sochi in 2014.
I thought you were going to say that's exactly what happened in Lake Placid in 1980, when the Soviet Union faced Russia, America. Yeah. Al Michaels believed in miracles. We all know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
That was the semifinals.
So they, the United States, the Miracle on Ice, U.S. win over Russia in 1980 was the semifinal game. And then, if you remember, I don't know. Well, if you remember, you weren't alive. Neither was I. But when the United States in the gold medal game was actually losing, right? And then there's the famous part of the documentary, the HBO documentary, where Herb Brooks goes into the dressing room during the intermission, and he says, "If you lose this game, you're gonna take it to your fucking grave." And then then the quote from Mike Eruzione goes, and then he stops, he turns around, and he says, "Your fucking grave." And then the U.S. and then the U.S. came from behind to beat Finland in the gold medal game. So because they came from behind in like every game in that tournament. But I highly recommend that, by the way. The movie Miracle was a great movie. It was a great depiction of what went on. And I understand that there is actually a new documentary on Netflix like about the players called like whatever that's titled or whatever. But the original HBO documentary that came out, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago was it called do you believe in miracles or whatever that HBO Sports documentary was? It was incredible. I highly recommend you go watch that. Get ready for the Olympics.
If they played us 10 times, they might win 9.
Yeah.
Not tonight.
Yeah, I think it was called "Do You Believe in Miracles?" was the HBO Sports documentary. And I love one of my favorite parts is when they talk about how the Russians pulled Tretiak in after the first period, and he was the best goaltender in the world, and they pulled him in the United States game, and it was like no one understood like what the hell was going on. And there was like a quote from one of the Russian players where he's like the head coach that comes in, and he's like, "Tretiak is playing poorly and will not go in the second period." Yeah. There's so many things about that team that was just so incredible. By the way, their backup goaltender was just as good, like probably the second best goaltender in the world behind Tretiak. But Tretiak was the best goaltender in the world, like winning every game. And I love the part about how at the end of the game, Russia didn't know about they didn't pull the goalie because they
just hadn't practiced that. Down at the end of the game,
they were never losing.
Yeah.
And so they didn't understand that hey, there's 2.5 minutes left. Like, why is Mishkov still in net? Like, pull the goalie, And it's because they didn't know. They didn't know how to handle losing. And great part about that documentary was also seeing how a lot of the faces of the Russian players, like there's that famous Sports Illustrated photo of the U.S. players celebrating, and there's that Russian player that's holding his head on his stick or whatever, resting his chin on his stick. And it was there was so much about the Russians then that they were kind of disappointed in the loss, but they were watching the celebration more because they didn't understand that. Playing hockey for them was part of their military service. And so watching the celebration from these college kids that just beat them, they almost didn't understand what was going on. And they were like, wait, why is there's so much joy in these kids? They're so happy they won a game. They won a kid's game. And that was some of the shock that was on the Russian players then, is because they were wow, look at these kids celebrate. Isn't we've never seen that before, because when they won, it was all business,
Right. They just go back, get some potatoes, get some vodka, and prepare for the next game.
That's it. Exactly. Get back in line and and get ready to continue doing the absolutely. So anyway, go watch Miracle. Get ready for the Olympics. That the tournament gets underway today with these 2 games. We do have a play on the first 2 games.
Let's go.
For Better Day Insider and Premium members, the play was sent out last night. It is in the Italy-Sweden game. Not going to give it away here for free, but I will tell you that on FanDuel at least, the total is 6.5. It is juiced to the over. Same thing up on DraftKings, but DraftKings has actually a puck line on this game where it is Sweden minus 5.5 against Italy. And in the Finland-Slovakia game, Finland is minus 2.5 against Slovakia with a total of 5.5. Now, here's what I'll say about Sweden's squad. They're loaded with NHL talent, right? And Italy is only in this tournament because they are the host country, okay? Sweden also might have the best goaltending in this tournament. So Philip Gustafsson probably going to be the starter. His Minnesota Wild teammate, Jesper Wallstedt, who's having an incredible season as well, he could also play some games. And then they also have Jacob Markstrom from the Devils, who's he hasn't really had a great year this year. But Gustafsson's been incredible and might be the best goaltender. I mean, that trio, by the way, might be the best goaltending unit in this entire tournament. So if Sweden's going to win, it's because their goaltending is going to be elite and no one's going to score on them. And then meanwhile, they do have good offense. They do have good players that are going to certainly score some goals for them. But it's going to be their goaltending that will lead them in this tournament. As far as Canada and the United States, two of the deepest rosters you're going to find, obviously loaded with NHL talent. Canada probably has more scoring. They did add Tom Wilson to the roster because maybe with the smaller rink, Mackenzie, they maybe wanted more physicality. Which, by the way, yes, this Olympic rink is going to be smaller than an NHL rink. Not by much, but it is going to be a few feet smaller than the NHL rink. And the United States, we know how physical they are. I mean, we got the Tkachuk brothers, right? And we also, so we know how physical the United States roster can be. U.S., this is their best roster that they've ever had in the Olympics. Goaltending, the U.S. has the edge over Canada, whether it's, who's probably going to start for the U.S. Let's see. Connor Hellebuck probably starts, but also Jake Ottinger, Jeremy Swayman. They're great. Swayman did well in the IIHF World Championships. Canada, I don't know what they're going to do. Jordan Binnington was great during the Four Nations faceoff. He has sucked this year for the St. Louis Blues. They did bring in Darcy Kemper, the Kings goalie, and Logan Thompson, the Capitals goalie, to the roster as well. So I actually think that maybe Binnington gets the first game just because of, the experience last year in the Four Nations. But I wouldn't be surprised if Darcy Kemper or Logan Thompson takes over and winds up being the number one goaltender. Canada might just ride the hot hand here in this tournament because goaltending is their biggest weakness right now. Those Canada and the United States, they don't get underway for till tomorrow. On Thursday, Canada takes on the Czech Republic, or Czechia, where Canada is -2.5 with a total of 6.5. The United States takes on Latvia, the U.S. -3.5 with a total of 6.5. So we'll preview those games on tomorrow's show. But I can tell you right now, if you're looking for a dark horse to win the gold medal, man, Sweden at +550 is definitely attractive, but we're all just rooting for it to come down to Canada and the United States. So take a +90 flyer on the U.S., and then maybe we can hedge out when it comes to a gold medal game between the United States and Canada. So there is your Olympic hockey preview, Mackenzie Rivers.
No one does it better. Do you have a call? I mean, obviously we're all rooting for America, but right now, +190, that's the best value on the board?
I would say that, no, the best value.
You take Sweden?
Well, no, that's just a long shot at +550. I'd say you can bet up on FanDuel to win a medal. Right now, the United States is -370. Canada is -550 to win a medal. The United States is -370 to win a medal. Sweden is -150 to win a medal. Now you're gonna need Sweden to win their group, right? And then you're gonna need them to, at least win, one elimination game to ensure that they're at least playing in the bronze medal game.
Yeah.
But they're the third best team in this tournament. There's a chance that Sweden can play in the gold medal game. I mean, -150 for Sweden to win a medal seems like a good bet. Group A winner, Canada -425. Group B winner, Sweden -160. Group C winner, the United States -900. Let's just see if does FanDuel let you parlay all three of these? Probably not, but let's see.
I mean, they're different groups.
They do let you parlay it. Yes.
Nice.
So your 3-leg parlay, USA, Sweden, Canada to win the three groups, +123 on FanDuel. I think that's the bet.
I like it. I mean, this is why we see those drop-offs in the NHL is because they're all focused on this moment. So
yeah,
the best teams, the favorite, they're not looking past this tournament. Again, it's the biggest one of their lives. I like that. I also like Sweden to win a medal if it's USA and Canada playing in that semifinal, Lake Placid style. Then you're essentially just like walking into the gold medal game if you're on the other side of the bracket.
Well, as long as they're in the gold medal game, they're guaranteed to win. Yeah, exactly. You're right. If they don't have to play the United States or Canada in the semifinal, then yes, they're going to the gold medal game. So yes,
yep. I like it -150.
Yeah, but I like this parlay though. So Sweden to win their group, Canada to win their group, the United States to win their group is at +123. I find it hard to see that not coming through.
What would be the thorn in that side? Like
If Finland wins the group.
Finland?
If
Yeah,
Finland wins
Finland
the
can
group,
win.
yep. And that'll come down to when Finland and Sweden play each other. But I mean, I think Sweden's goaltending is just so much better. Like Finland's good, like they're okay, but like who do they don't really have much. Like I don't know, they got Mikko Rantanen, but um, who else is? Let's see. Um, Man, I guess. Well, you know what kills Finland is that Sasha Barkov got hurt. The Alexander Barkov from the Florida Panthers. So I mean, he hasn't played all season, right? So he would be the best player on Finland. So without him, it's like you're just like, their best player is probably Mikko Rantanen, who was great for the Dallas Stars last year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So, and then their goaltending, they got UC Saros of the Predators, but he's like, ugh, he hasn't been great this year. So I guess Finland would be the only case, the only team that would give Sweden fits. Let's see. Elsewhere on FanDuel, we might as well wrap this up with some other odds here. The tournament leading goal scorer, Mikko Rantanen, the aforementioned, is the favorite at plus 900. Boy, he's going to have to be because I don't know who else on that team is going to score goals. Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche for Team Canada is 10-1. And let's see, David Pastrnak, 12-1. Connor McDavid, 13-1. Leon Draisaitl, who will be playing for Germany, plus 1,700. Yeah, I'd like. Here's a flyer. Here's a really
so that
long
includes
shot
the
flyer.
knockout game,
This is through the whole tournament.
right?
Market includes round robin and knockout stage. So obviously, like I'm going to go Canada or the United States. Here's a long shot. Okay. Jack Eichel from the Vegas Golden Knights, 35-1 to be the tournament leading goal scorer, not points.
Yeah.
Leading goal scorer.
With a name like Jack Eichel, he's got to be an American, right?
Yeah, of course he's an American.
U.S. citizen. All right, good.
Yeah.
That's a good name for a U.S. citizen. Jack Eichel.
This is an incredible U.S. forward unit. And I know Austin Matthews. I don't think Austin Matthews scored in the Four Nations faceoff last year. He's 20-1. Austin Matthews. I would take a flyer. I would take a flyer here on Jack Eichel, 35-1. Elsewhere, probably I mean Nathan MacKinnon probably 10-1 is the rightful choice here. Tournament saves leader Philip Gustafsson is your favorite at plus 550. We just talked about him for Sweden. UC Saros of Finland is next at plus 750. And then you go down the further list.
The Sweden goalkeeper kind of makes sense to me just on the surface because they're good enough to be in probably all the games, if not -1 at worst.
Yep.
And they're not good enough where they won't be shot on like the USA and Canada.
Yes.
So Sweden goalkeeper most saves might make sense.
Yeah. You can bet on the individual country's leading goal scorer. So Nathan MacKinnon, your favorite, up on FanDuel at plus 280 to be the leading goal scorer for Canada. For the United States, Austin Matthews plus 400. You're leading the odds-on favorite to be the leading goal scorer there. Let's see. What is this? Player tournament, 2+ goals? I don't even know. Player to record a hat trick in the group stage. Oh, this is fun. Will one of these players record a hat trick in the group stage? It's kind of, I mean, we're dart throwers here, but yeah. David Pastrnak plus 650, Leon Draisaitl plus 950.
There is no, I'm guessing. There is no craps.
I'll tell you what, Leon Draisaitl at plus 950 to get a hat trick in the group stage is interesting because I don't think there's any other player that's going to score a goal on Germany. No, that's not. That's wrong. I mean, they still have like Tim Stützle is a really good player for Ottawa. Moritz Seider of the Red Wings is a very good, but he's a defenseman. JJ Peterka of Utah is certainly a good forward. But Draisaitl is by far like the best goal scorer maybe in the entire tournament. He might be the best goal scorer in the entire NHL. And they're in the group with Latvia, Denmark, and the United States. So, I mean, he could get a hat trick against Latvia, you know?
Keep feeding the big man.
Yeah. So, Leon Draisaitl there could be a bet. Let's see. Then there's head-to-head bets you can make. Then there's points, over-under points. Jack Eichel over under 6.5 points in the tournament, -128. I'd go over that. Connor McDavid is at 8.5. I'd go over that at -132. Let's see. Cale Makar is at 6.5. I'd go over that at -112. Let's see. Mikko Rantanen is at 6.5. I'd go over that at -122. And let's see. Goalie to record at least one shutout in the tournament. Logan Thompson. Oh, here's the bet. Philip Gustafsson of Sweden, -150, Mackenzie. That is the bet. A goalie to record at least one shutout in the tournament. And you know something? It could happen today.
It might be happening while you're listening to this.
It could.
Hopefully not, so you can get the bet in, but yeah.
It could happen today. All right, now that will wrap up our Olympic hockey preview. Let's talk some NBA.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/secure. Protect yourself now at aura.com/secure.
Big news in the NBA yesterday, Mackenzie, as LeBron James did not play for the Lakers against the San Antonio Spurs, and Victor Wembanyama playing against air, it seems. But with LeBron not playing last night, Mackenzie, he is now ineligible for postseason awards, meaning that LeBron James will not make it to the All-NBA team. Not like he deserved to be on the All-NBA team, but it snaps his record-setting streak of 21 consecutive seasons being named to an All-NBA team.
Credit where credit's due. I'm known as I like to think of myself as an NBA historian when I talk about LeBron, put him in context as a top 8 player of all time. But nobody can touch his longevity. Not Kareem. Kareem wasn't this good at 40. Not Robert Parrish, who played till he was 45 but wasn't relevant after 35. He is one of one when it comes to maintaining excellent NBA superstardom. And it's kind of fitting that he will not be not named to the NBA All-NBA team, although, like you mentioned, wouldn't deserve it. And I'm wondering if this is maybe his last year. If he doesn't do the Dwayne Wade, go get a jersey and get a video at every league, if he just plays it out at this high level at 41, it might make sense for him to walk away. Because he made the All-Star team. He was selected by the coaches. I got to say he was probably the least deserving All-Star. And next year, if he's just 10% worse like most 40-year-olds get year after year, I think it would be hard to match how good he is right now. So I think it'd be a cool way to end it.
You think now last year he didn't deserve to be an All-NBA team, but he
was. There was 15 players selected to the All-NBA, and I pointed this out before. 14 of them were good for their team, meaning when they were on the court, their team played better than when they were off the court. The 15th one being LeBron, who had a negative plus-minus, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, elsewhere yesterday, good cash with our free play of the day on the Los Angeles Clippers. Hey, they got there. It doesn't, like Vin Diesel said, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. And the Clippers lose by 7, 102-95 to the Rockets, but cover whether you had 7.5, whether you had 8.5. It didn't matter. You covered.
And a meaningless 3 at the end, definitely I'll take it with all the meaningless 3s at the end that have hurt me this year.
Yeah.
But they missed 8 free throws to the Rockets too. They made like 25% of their threes the last time I checked in the fourth quarter compared to the Rockets' 50%. They should have won this game. They played definitely well enough to cover. I thought it was the right side, and hopefully we'll have the right side tomorrow too and make it 3 in a row.
Well, let's keep cooking here. We'll take a look now at this NBA schedule for this Wednesday evening. The Charlotte Hornets, Mackenzie, who had their 9-game winning streak snapped, will look to start another streak when they host the Atlanta Hawks up on FanDuel. The Hornets 6-point favorites. What do you think about a team having their 9-game streak snapped and then how they play in their next game?
This is an excellent play historically. Teams want to get back on the wagon, and I think the Hornets in particular, because of how young they are, because of how unexpected this was and their Rookie of the Year candidate, I think they'll be even more juiced than most of these teams that have their 9-game winning streak snapped. So this is going to be a play for me, most likely, -6.
Okay. Magic, 10-point favorites at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. Wizards visit the Cavs. Cleveland, 18-point favorites. Is this line out of control?
I think they have some demons to exercise with the way their season's been going. The Wizards I had is a -12 at their lowest, then they got better, then they've been worse. They haven't been worse since the trades. I think the line makes sense.
Okay. The Knicks, who lost last night to the Pacers in overtime, 137-134, will take on the Sixers in Philly. Philadelphia -1.5 favorites.
Kind of conflicting trends here. Number one, when you have a look-ahead game, usually it's because you're looking ahead and you care more about that game. The Pistons came back after losing to the Wizards and dominated the Knicks. However, second night of a back-to-back on the road, it's a negative trend, so it's something to consider. Maybe it's a Knicks first half play.
Okay. Pistons, the aforementioned Pistons, -1.5 at the Raptors. You had talked about yesterday that maybe this Pistons team, a 70-pace win team, maybe they are the best team in the NBA.
I cannot wait to fade them in the playoffs. But right now, it's not the playoffs, it's the regular season, and they're perfectly built to punch people in the mouth and take names.
All right. Pacers on the second night of a back-to-back in Brooklyn against the Nets. The Nets 5-point favorites. You got the Bulls at the Celtics. Boston 13.5-point favorites. Are we firing up the system?
Yes, absolutely. This is another play for me. You get all my plays at betterday.com, but you got 2 free ones here already. 106 is the projected team total for the Bulls. And there's a couple reasons I like it. One, because the Celtics are off a loss, 65%, last 4 years, we've mentioned it.
Yep.
Number 2 is they know this team well. A few of their players used to be on the Bulls last week. Nikola Vucevic to debut for the Celtics. And I think that gives them a little bit extra juice, get perked up, and play a great game of basketball. So 106 should be the total, and I think they hold the Bulls to under 100.
Okay, we have the Heat at the Pelicans, New Orleans -1.5. The Blazers are at the Timberwolves, Minnesota -7.5. OKC -6.5 at Phoenix. The Suns playing the second of a back-to-back here. You got Memphis at Denver, where the Nuggets are laying 14 at home. The Kings at the Jazz, Utah 6.5-point favorite. Spurs on the second night of a back-to-back at the Warriors, where San Antonio -5.5. And then the rematch, Mackenzie. The Clippers and the Rockets will do it again from Houston, and it is pretty much the same line as it was yesterday up on FanDuel. The Rockets, 8.5-point favorites over the Clippers.
Although I think the Clippers played better overall and had some bad shooting luck, I'm not sure Kawhi Leonard is necessarily going to play back-to-backs. He does want to play that 65 games and be eligible. I think Jokic is playing games he wouldn't because of that. I think Kawhi is playing games he wouldn't because of that, so maybe that rule is working. But it's definitely a question mark before you fire. However, if he does play, I think the way to play it is the first quarter. We have 2 games that meet this criteria when you have the same venue, immediate revenge spot, you're 1.5 points to the good in the modern era, ATS-wise for the whole game, and you're plus 1.5 in the first quarter alone. So 100% of the overperformance is you getting that first punch after coming back after a loss. So there's 2 games. The Clippers +3 in the first quarter might be a play. And the Bucks versus the Magic were embarrassed last time out. I think they might get embarrassed again eventually, but in that first quarter, look Milwaukee.
Okay. All right. So we'll keep an eye on that. Free plays always available on our homepage at betterday.com. And you can sign up to become a Better Day Insider or Better Day Premium member and get all of Mackenzie Rivers' NBA plays. College basketball last night, Mac, the system, one of the systems did not come through as Auburn, who was the unranked home favorite against number 19 Vanderbilt, falls 84-76. This system it hasn't been great this year. I'm just I give out the numbers. We're not hiding the numbers. 7-7 now, straight up in ATS. for the unranked home favorites against the ranked opponents system. And the money actually was going against Auburn last night. So it seemed like maybe the public and the sharp community was all on Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt proved to be the right side.
Did Miami close the favorite over North Carolina?
No, Miami closed at 1.5.
As a dog, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Miami closed at 1.5. They stormed the court in that win
Yeah,
over
right.
North Carolina.
You're not a favorite when you storm the court. That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. And you're a pick'em and you storm the court still. I mean, come on. Just a joke. Tonight, Mackenzie, taking a look at the top 25 teams in action. We do not have any system plays, although I am curious. Texas Tech, number 16, Texas Tech hosts unranked Colorado, and Texas Tech up on FanDuel right now is a 14.5-point favorite. Now, this could be a look-ahead spot to Saturday's game where Texas Tech will take on number 1 Arizona. I wonder if maybe Colorado is a sneaky play here?
I mean, it's not Deion Sanders walking out onto that court. Colorado might be one to look past. You're on ESPN Plus. That plus sign is there, not ESPN. Yeah, maybe take the points.
I'm wondering if there's a way in the database if we can look at like games before your next let's see. So your next opponent's rank
is ranked or just below you?
No, is number 1. So get this, Mac, as we just took a brief pause so I can look this up. Since the start of the 2021 season, double-digit favorites the game before playing the number 1 team in the nation. So your next opponent is the number 1 team in the nation. You are a double-digit favorite in this game. You are 29-1 straight up. What do you think the ATS is?
I'm gonna guess 60%.
50%. 15-15.
Any over/under trend pop up?
19-11 to the over.
All right. Well, that kind of makes sense with the basic theory, which is that your defense is not locked in, but you're working on that shooting touch, trying to get everything, trying to get the laces straight and all that.
Ooh, you know what? That's a very interesting take here. So there's been, what did I say? There's been 30 games. So let's see. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. So only 13 times the opponent has gone under their team total. So that's 17-13 to the opponent's team total going over.
Defense a little bit lax. All right.
Yeah. But in some of these, it's like literally they went under by a quarter point, a half point, 1.5 points, 2 points, 2.5 points. So really, if you just say the opponent's team total is within 2 points or goes over, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 23-7.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So maybe it's a Colorado team total over, or just play the over in this game. 156.5 right now up on FanDuel. Could be a look-ahead spot. That's all I'm saying. Could be a look-ahead spot here for the Red Raiders. All right, that'll wrap things up for this episode of Better Day. I want to thank you guys for tuning in as always. It's an exciting time because Olympic hockey is underway. I am absolutely pumped for this tournament. Can't wait to watch it and can't wait to win more bets on the Olympic hockey, as I've just been missing the NHL, Mackenzie. I'll be honest. I've been missing hockey. I found myself, my usual daily routine of looking up goaltenders and seeing who's playing. And
you're like Pablo Escobar meme. You're just standing in an empty pool.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just where's my morning skate reports? What? Who was the first goaltender on the ice on the morning skate? I don't get those reports. But now we have the Olympic tournament, which is just going to be incredible to watch. Also, shout out to the U.S. women who shut out Canada yesterday 5-0. The game went under 5.5.
Under hit, -150 hit. I'm telling you, we are winning it all this year. It started last night.
Let's go. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.